from artificial intelligence, biotech, including viruses, robotics, quantum technology, and conflicts with geopolitics, such as China, Iran, and socialism and Antifa.
Wow.
These type of things. I initially last year I gave a quick brief to the Secret Service saying within 1 year, maximum 2 years, the world's people are in danger or enslavement if you don't curb China and our big tech. And I included microbiome terrorism, which includes this virus. I gave a former director of CIA cover ops with 3 presidents, 62-page report saying world's people are in danger, China, big tech, I gave him 41 companies, June 15th. Then I published AI Trump China and the weaponization of robotics 5G. The world's people are in danger via China and big tech. People didn't take me seriously. Some people plagiarized and couldn't get my word out, couldn't get media to pick me up. Then I published Artificial Intelligence Data to Humanity, which has this book inside of it, put 50 companies in there. And again was the world's people are in danger via China, big tech, and all these things, viruses, conflicts. It shows in the book, actually, and it connects it to the future of cybernetics, bioengineering, all these different things, surveillance systems, and biodigital social programming, which consists of the manipulation of people's minds and leads to anger, like the riots that you see and different things. Again, media wouldn't take me. PR Newswire, I sent out a press release to all senators and Congress people and the world citizens. Hey, you're in danger. This is all coming. They removed it last minute. Said artificial intelligence danger to humanity is slanders to China and big tech. That's what they said. So what do? I put out a lawsuit December 16th. The world's people are in danger. 51 pages. I excluded the John Does. Include I just named Google, PR Newswire, and a few other companies, Facebook, and so on. I hid the Chinese Communist Party and Obama and Clinton and Schiff. And I'm asking for patriots or even people on the left and media, please report my findings. Give me a platform. I want to tell you how the people's lives are in danger. Nobody would put me on. People would tweet me if they had low number accounts, but any account that had like 200,000 followers, they didn't want to retweet me because they wouldn't want to lose their followers to me because they'd never seen any person in the world put out content like I did. So put out a lot of videos. I'm working 18 hours a day trying to explain every person's life on the planet is in danger. Still, a media won't pick me up. On February 24th, I put out the John Doe's and amended complaint. World's people are in danger, A, B, C, D, and then released Communist Party of China. I was the first person to release that, right, before the outbreak, before the lockdown. And again, I wouldn't get backed. I think it reached over 1 billion people actually on Instagram. Serbia reported on the news. Spain reported on the news, but not our American media. Not just the left, but the conservatives wouldn't do it.
Wow.
So just think about that. And now we're next to the other stage, which is the riots. All these things you will see in this book. It's like I had a time machine showing you everything. So that's that. But I'm giving you a broad 40,000 feet view at a narrow level, which is just at a narrow level. But there's multiple levels I can just explain. But you go ahead. You may want to ask specific questions.
Yeah. So and I'm going to allow you to go anywhere you want to with this, but my first question for you is basically I work in the neurology of the brain. I'm a chiropractor, so I study the nervous system, and I've always talked about how the brain is an antenna. It's an antenna to the ether. And when I started researching and looking at your work, and I actually first found you I think on John B. Wells, and I saw you on X22 report, and I go, okay, I've studied a little bit of nanotechnology. I understand how the brain works and how it's an antenna. And then your stuff comes along, and I'm like, wow, this is marrying everything together. So first, if you could give us a little viewpoint from your standpoint of this nanotechnology and the brain, because this is where AI goes, and most people don't truly understand what AI really means. So go for that.
So AI is very vast. It touches to everything in the world, everything. So at a narrow level, they call it artificial neurointelligence. It includes your smartphones, your Internet of Things, and so on, Alexa, and Siri, and chatbots, virtual bots, robots that connects to virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on. The next stage, artificial general intelligence, which consists of a live thinking robot conscious robots, such as Hanson Robotics, what they want to do. Next stage, artificial superintelligence, which consists of one way to obtain it is to extract all humanity's brain biometrics that connect to the way their brains are formed and their data, which not just confined to your facial and voice recognition and your geolocation and your social media, but the way your thoughts are formed. So that's done through multiple proximity sensors. They connect the electrical field of the smartphone to the electrical field, and also the way you write, the way you think, the way you work on social media. All this is extracted through algorithms and sent back to these big tech companies. So the people working on these, actually techie guys, they don't really understand this stuff. They're just like part of a little piece putting things together. That was my finding, okay? So within the nervous system, so the human body has a nervous system. The human body has electrical field. I call this a biodigital field, which I put in this book.
Yep.
It's very vast. It's very sophisticated. It's not something most doctors understand, because doctors have to use machines to understand things. There are people that don't need to use machines, and they're 1,000 times more accurate than doctors. But that's another story. So what happens is really simple. I coined something called biodigital social programming. Your biology is the first world. So cells, even your particles that make up your body at the molecular level, then your blood, your bones, your skeleton, even your skin receptors, that's the bio part. Digital is your neural networks, your nervous system, your electrical field, but also your soul. If you believe in a soul, your digital image, you're very agnostic. Or maybe an atheist, same thing. Next one, as I said before in other interviews, is social media, your social network, and your emotions, and then programming, biodigital social programming, the riots. So you could, at a narrow level, you can say, oh, they've got racial tension built up for 40, 50, 60, or even 200 years, and they have a beef, and they got to the streets. And then you can say, well, the other component is, yes, well, they were pent up in their homes, and then they went into the streets. That's another component. Then you can say, well, no, there's another component to that. The fact that the media was promoting it in a certain way that they enticed it. Then the third one comes on top of it, right? So it gets people elevated to 3 levels instead of first, second, and third level. Because back in the day, Martin Luther King, it was peaceful for the most part. It wasn't the way it is now. So boom. And then you have white people actually doing more criminal activities in some senses than other looters that are a different color. It's actually white people doing it. So, and those are socialist Antifa people. So they're violent. And the fourth level is what I call the biodigital social programming. Because we're in the age of smartphones and artificial intelligence, the information that comes to your brain and it completely alters your brain chemistry. So I just put out a tweet, and some people disagreed with me, and they wouldn't even retweet it. And I said, Grand Theft Auto, that's trained people for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing that in real life, right? A lot of poor communities have played that game, and it's exactly what you see. It's in that. But if someone tweets at me or follows me, I disagree. Well, I DM them politely, unfollow me, okay, or delete your tweet, because maybe you're right for you, but not every person is different. Every person's brain chemistry is different. Every person's situation is different. What happens is what you watch and the interface between this video game, especially when it gets to the 5G system, it is going to completely replicate and control people's electrical fields in their nervous system and alter their brain chemistry and re-hardwire their neural networks. Most people don't have free will to begin with. They have the concept of free will, and they have partial free will because they have human emotion. If you have human emotion, you cannot have free will because your emotions are guiding your thoughts. So you put the second layer in play, which is your smartphones and the AI system. When that happens, your emotions are elevated, hence the Trump deranged syndrome. People attacking Trump. And I have an article and a video called People Programmed to Attack Trump with Artificial Intelligence, Social Media, Google, and Smartphones. And I have people following me and people not following me. 200,000, they will not retweet that. And they support President Trump. Think about that.
Unbelievable. So as this works, do they have to have toxins or metals in your body for this to work, or can this work just on energy fields alone?
Just an energy, but there are nanoparticles. There are things that fly around that people don't see that enter their field. When they breathe in, it comes inside of them. But I'm speaking generally from the electrical field perspective. But also, when you touch this phone, automatically connects and creates a flow cycle. It's designed that way. It's this patented technology. And I think for the most part, most people who designed it didn't understand it. It just came to be the way it is. That was our finding of the AI organization. After investigating 1,000 companies, but also using very sophisticated biometrics that even, I would say, the Pentagon doesn't have, because even at the highest level, they don't understand these things. DARPA creates things and they don't understand it. So for instance, in a lawsuit I cited at Vermont University, that they created through stem cell, they mixed frogs in a machine, and they're saying this is great, it can heal people. But no, that'll lead to transhumanism. It'll lead to bioengineering, mixing humans with animals, also mutations and diseases that could kill off the majority of the human race, and controlling humanity. Every time these big tech guys create something, you always say it's positive. For the most part, most of the time it's negative, because they don't. When it's something serious, okay, not they're creating things that are more dangerous than a nuclear bomb. AI is extremely dangerous, and that's what Elon said, and I named him because he did a flip-flop. First says it's dangerous, then he says for humanity to survive, let's mix with artificial intelligence. If not, we're all going to die. I don't agree with that. So that's why I hit him up with the lawsuit. Excuse my language, but and then I retracted because there were some thoughts that changed with China and different things. It was endangering everyone's lives by collaborating with China.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people asked about the lawsuit. With regards to AI, before I go into the lawsuit, from AI standpoint, what do you see as AI going forward? Because a lot of people don't understand AI.
Okay, so for artificial intelligence, people think it's a narrow level. It will develop into artificial general and then super intelligence without humans understanding it or even knowing that it developed to that level. That's the risk. And this includes our generals in power and our admirals. They don't understand it. Because if an average person, even if they're a general or admiral, they have human emotions. They go sit next to their wives and they hug them and they eat food and watch TV. A person doing that generally uses 3 to 5% of their brain power. They never tap into the majority of their capacity, their brain, in their entire lives, because they're bound to human emotions. So when you have an artificial general super intelligence develop something that taps into the brain's capacity of 100%, it will take out the entire human race without even knowing it. Because Elon Musk stated, very simply put, he said it will see us possibly as insects or ants. Hopefully it doesn't kill us. Well, if it sees you as insects and ants, why would it want to keep you? Just think about that. So that's and these Google guys and the CEOs, they're not smart at all. They're just techie guys that put stuff together and they're in their positions. They're not wise, nor are they smart. That's my conclusion, and it's the fact. You look at the history written in not just scriptures and biblical things, but cultural things and relics and documents going back from the Greeks, the Persians, the Indians, the Chinese, and the Japanese, and even the Hopi Indians in America. They always talk about a time that there was a Star Wars or something like that, and the civilization ended because technology had far surpassed people's ethics and morality. It's in writing, and there's relics everywhere. So you'd have to be not that. I'm sorry, I don't want to insult people, but if you see that in writing and they never spoke to each other, then you see the relics and machines that they made that actually couldn't have existed 3,000 years ago unless they had the machines of today. But even the machines today can't make those things. So then you think, whoa, maybe these religions or cultures or documents have something that they're saying that's correct, that's maybe beyond our comprehension. Because we as a human race today, we think we're all knowing and all smart in terms of, because we have this technology, we have bachelor's, master's, and a PhD, all these different things. And we think that we know more than the people of 2,000 years ago. But those people had wisdoms. The way the media and the historical documents portray them is warring savages. There was wars and there was savagery, but it wasn't the way it was. There was a lot of peace and people of good nature. And they were more simpler and they were more pure in a lot of places. So the history of every country just talks about wars, killings, and rapes. They don't talk about all the stuff in the middle, about the happy lives or whatever. And there was famines and there was plagues, okay? And this COVID, for some people, it's actually plague-like. COVID toes, it hits your lungs. For other people, it's just a flu. And for some other people, they're completely immune to it. That tells you it was designed to have targets, specific targets. That means target certain types of DNA.
Now, give me a little of your viewpoint on Huawei, 5G, and how this plays into our future.
Huawei is the 5G grid system that links China to the Middle East, to Europe, and if it wasn't for President Trump, to the U.S., and it would enslave everybody. They have over 3 billion people that they service, 1,600 networks. It is not for your smartphone. It mobilizes drones, machines, robots, robotics, flying machines, and it interconnects with the sky, like things such as Starlink. And then they can connect to cybernetic enhanced soldiers and bioengineered people or entities, because they're working on multiple different experiments in China. They don't have any ethics. So they're mixing humans with animals and doing gene modifications and experimentations in massive scale. So that's what Huawei is really about. And then you have a normal conventional military as well, right? So they have copied and stole a lot of the U.S. intelligence community's information, the military apparatus, all kinds of different software. F-35 semiconductor chips that come out of Taiwan that we use, all these different things. So China, their military is not as strong as ours, by no means, but they endanger the whole world. And by working on artificial intelligence, they're endangering all the world's citizens. And they're vicious. They put the Falun Dafa practitioners, the Christians, Tibetans, Uyghurs, and common citizens in camps for 20 years, and they've been killing them for the organs. While we're giving them technology and Google's helping them build their surveillance systems and giving them tech so they can use facial voice recognition to hunt people and kill them for the organs and quarantine people. So it's like it's almost like we helped kill people for 20 years by assisting, giving them tech and doing trade, and now it's coming back to haunt the world. In a sense, it's sort of ironic. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's sort of what it is. And in one sense, that's not the only reason we are. So we talked at a narrow level, on the human level. I want to talk about the spiritual level. A lot of things are unseen. We think this event is a pandemic, but people think it's a pandemic by the left. It's nothing of the sort. For everything that happens, there is a cause and effect, or there's a chain reaction. But then maybe you can consider at a spiritual level, or maybe a level we can't see, that we humans only use 3 or 5% of our brain power, and there's trillions of universes and galaxies and planets. It's possible, like the left scientists say, we're in a simulation. It's possible the biblical people, Christians say it's biblical. So the fact is, there are stages to this, and I found extinction codes for the majority of the human race in stages for the next 20 years. This is not going to be a world-ending event. The world's not going to end tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying at all. I guarantee it's not going to end tomorrow, or even 6 months. But a lot of the world's citizens are in danger. Famine, enslavement, conflicts, diseases, so just like I put in here, in the next 20 years. And we need to make a huge change. A very big change. First of all, so what I found, this little extinction codes that I talked about for the past 10 months, is very simple. It comes from every direction, no matter what you do, and it comes back to something. You can say it's negligence, okay? But then you take the negligence away, it comes from people's characters. It's people's characters. They're no longer, not everybody, but a lot of people. Look at the streets, okay? People cheat each other, people steal, people get emotional, yell and fight and get irrational over the smallest things. It's not the conduct of a human being. We're taught to have logic, ration, and be calm and be kind. That's how we should be. So, and then there's ethics and morality. So when you fall out of the level of what's supposed to be morality and ethics is accepted for thousands of years, and they've even put in their books that the majority of people get destroyed, well, maybe you should look at that. And this is a problem with the people. So they're in this country, there's really three types of people in general. There's the Judeo-Christian, and they believe in biblical prophecy. But half of them, I would say, kind of believe it, but really don't, because they don't act the way they should. And then there's the middle part, which is they're kind of in between. Well, yeah, maybe there's some spiritual stuff. Maybe there's a God, or maybe there's, and then there's a left who hate these people and laugh and slander, and their brain, it's like their neural networks in that area that they can accept faith or things that they can't see or accept is completely blocked. Hence, these people are conflicting with the left, with the right, and the middle, and this creates a chain of reaction that can snowball into wars and so many different things. I'm sorry if I'm saying too much on your show. Maybe you weren't expecting this.
You're fine. But you're perfectly fine. I do want to dive into ethics. You talk about ethics a lot, and I appreciate that. What are ethics when it comes to technology, and how can we put them together for good use?
Okay, so there's multiple layers of ethics. So the first one, I would say, our platform is developing under communism and socialism. That's how our big tech and our AI is designed. It should be based off our constitution. Secondly, people who are in these positions to are regulators need to be selfless or in the middle, altruistic sort of. Not selfish after money or after fame, because then they're negligent, they do selfish things, and they ruin everything. So it's very simple. The socialists hate capitalists because they say capitalists take advantage of people, right? And capitalists hate socialists because they see they get crazy and then they destroy countries like Russia, China, and things of that nature. But it's simple. Capitalists have never been capitalists. They've always been socialists, because a capitalist is only a capitalist if they're not selfish and in a point of not taking advantage of somebody, and they have a balanced approach, and they work hard. Whatever they earn, they keep for themselves. But when you try to sack, like it's like nation building, or you're sieging, putting siege to buildings. Amazon, you're supposed to be delivering things, right? But no, they're into everything. Google, it's supposed to be a search engine. Robots, DNA, biometrics, AI, all these different things. So it's no longer there's no systems and checks and balances. That capitalist system is actually a socialist system. It's becoming its own nation. That's the issue, and that's the main problem. So first of all, but it comes back to ethics. The human race, it needs to be good. It needs to be calm and compassionate and forbearing, and not take advantage of people. If you have, and it's cliquey, right? So I'm here and I work 18 hours a day and I'm trying to support everybody. So, and there's cliques. There's cliques of left, there's cliques of right, cliques in the middle. And of course there's different opposing views. But even if I have the same exact message, but even 10 times more sophisticated in some sense, but if they're in their clique and they have a certain symbol, and I don't have a symbol, they won't support me. Even though if they support me, it's gonna help them 10 times over. They won't, because that's just human thinking. It's selfish, and that's been the issue. And that's something the left has been complaining about the right. Because here's the issue: the left goes to the extreme. They say, "Oh, racist, da 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 da. Oh, you guys are mean, right?" But then they go so extreme that, okay, let's go talk to Osama bin Laden. Oh, let's go talk. That's what they wanted to do, right? They bombed, they killed 1 million people. Let's go find out. Let's go talk to them and have a dinner. No, you're crazy. You're nuts. So let's be open, and let's let China come in here and do business with us, right? That is their crazy thinking. And then they let them. They want to do business with rapists. They want to be nice and have a talk with people that can't be reasoned with. But then on the conservative side, when they get power, they become And generally, right? If you've looked at it, what's happened? Why is it that there is a beef between the two? I'm not talking about the principles. The principles, yeah, I'm on the conservative side, but in terms of like the reaction, it needs to be a balance of wisdom, principle, but also at the same time, not just us and them. So the left has had some points that were on the mark, but they don't deliver because they become naive and open to everything. And that's the issue, because it has to go on ethics. The left needs to have the ethical moral standards of what the conservatives have had going back thousands of years. And they don't. They let anything flies, anything, right? Oh, mix humans with animals. Okay, yeah. Let's teach little kids to do this, and it's okay for a man to have a relation with a little boy. Let's run experiments. But this is the kind of crazy stuff. It degenerates, and then society becomes what it is. You have all these violent video games. You have all these promotion of even sex trafficking. There's implications in cartoons about this stuff and in our movies. So this has been a society for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. After the socialist little spies embed themselves in our education sectors and in our institutes, in our media, to alter the people's thinking in the next 1 to 2 generations to destroy America and the world. And that's in their writings, simply put in there. You can look it up.
Wow, you're a breath of fresh air. Could 5G and 6G be used in a healing way to allow us to use technology for positive versus what it's going to do to us right now?
At this moment, if you talk about healing people with certain things, from a small perspective, certain technologies can be used, yes. If there's a soldier somewhere else, like 1,000 miles away, you can use a 5G system to use a robot arm to operate on them with their virtual or augmented reality on site. So you don't need to send a doctor. There are some positives, right? So I'm not opposed to 5G in the sense that you shouldn't have it. I'm opposed to it being next to your families, radiation to your kids. I'm opposed to people not understanding biodigital social programming. I'm opposed so many different things I can't say on the show. I'm sorry, because these are things that would reveal things to China, and they may want to develop it. So I can't say. But the way it develops and chain of reactions and a genesis of things if it's not China taking out everybody, it's ourselves taking out everybody by the misuse of AI. But the AI regulators cannot be the AI scientists. Cannot be scientists, period. They can't be, because they grew up with this empirical studies, and their brains are formed, their neural networks are formed that way, and they can't conceptualize these type of things. And so we need to have. So I'm a security expert as well. So I don't mean I'm the only one that can do it, but you need to have a lot of people with that frame of thought, because it's so dangerous. If Elon Musk, and he's pretty smart, he's not that smart, but he's pretty smart. If he says is more dangerous than nuclear weapons, and I say it's 10 times more dangerous than nuclear weapons, we should listen to that. Just think about it. It's beyond the conception of the average person. What can happen in a very fast period of time? So how would this? You think this is a coincidence? I come out with this stuff and nobody listens, right? And then I call everything, but then, okay, Pelosi, Trump, they're going, and it's almost like a civil war. It's building, and then it goes to, okay, the virus hit out. What is this? Oh, did millions die? And then lockdown, and then all riots in the streets, and there's gonna be next stages too, right? So it's like we're watching a simulation.
I completely agree, and a lot of people have talked about that, and the fact that are we just literally in a drama, a soap opera, a play, a simulation, whatever it is. What do you see from your viewpoint, whether involving technology, involving ethics, involving Trump? Because obviously right now we have two ways to go. One way is a very dark way. One way could be a very positive way. And obviously we have to regain our republic back. If you live in America, you'll understand obviously the importance of the republic. And we're going against, unfortunately, I don't want to have war with them, but a communist China that's been taken over by the deep state. How do you see this playing out along with the technology aspect? Because we have to be safe with that.
So it's quite simple, and I've said it since the beginning. Expose the Chinese Communist Party. Every person on the planet, expose the party, not the people, for the crimes against humanity, for putting the Christian, the Falun Dafa practitioners, the Tibetans, Uyghurs in camps for 20 years. Secondly, it's even as important or more important. Truly from your heart, if you believe in this term, repent from your heart for being complicit, looking the other way for 20 years, buying made in China products that came from slaves or people who were killed for the organs, doing business with China and not saying nothing when there were death camps in the millions. Or apologize or sincerely just say you're wrong and expose the Chinese Communist Party. That's the second thing. The third thing, truly in your heart, deep down, deep in your heart, look inside and say, yes, I want a beautiful future, not only for my kids, not only for myself, for all of humanity. We want to be good. We just want that. We want to be good. We want awakening. We want enlightenment. We want salvation, or however you want to say it. We want a good future. That's what you should say. All these three things combined is gold. It have a chain of reaction. But time is the essence. I've been saying this for a year straight. And that fifth component has been done. China's going to lose. It's in the books. In the interim, a lot of people's lives are in danger. Every person on the planet must take a stand on the Chinese Communist Party. They don't understand how it interconnects with everything. I was in an interview and I explained something to somebody, and it's an Israeli guy. And he says, oh yeah, octopus. Are you saying they're the big octopus? I'm like, yes, they are the octopus, and their tentacles are attached to our big tech companies and our media companies. So yeah, that's simple. And if you look at the Matus and Kilgore report, MATS and then Kilgore, I bought him to two lectures, 2011, 2016. And in 2011, they conclude, in 2006, they concluded 41,000 transplants were unaccounted for in China. And people were flying in with suitcases from America, Canada, India, Africa, even Israel, and Australia, and New Zealand, everywhere from the world, to China and Japan as well, but from Japan. And they were buying organs, 40-hour wait times, hearts, liver, kidneys, and corneas from these people. Okay? Think about that. Obama knew. And he let us do business with China, and he took $1.5 billion. At least his vice president did, right? $1.5 billion as they're doing death camps. So Bush knew too, but he couldn't do anything because he got bogged down with Iraq. President Trump cannot get bogged down with this riot. He cannot get bogged down. Swift and swift response. But everyone needs to understand about China. Every single person. It is the most important thing. But here's the thing. 2016, their update says 60 to 100,000 organ transplants are unaccounted for every year per year for 17 years straight. Think about that, Jason. Think about that. And that's only the hospitals they marked and they counted. China's government says we have 3,000 donations and they found 100,000 transplants. What kind of big lie is that? And that's only what they found. They're not talking about the military complexes or hidden police extracts or arrests and quarantines put in camps. And who helped that? The American people, the world's people. By doing business with them, by sending money over there, by giving tech. And who helped them the most? Our media companies by hiding this for 20 years. You know, Fox News, it's a conservative outlet, right? Local Fox News of San Diego. I'm gonna say this right now. 2011. They're thankful to them. They actually aired it. I put on the Secretary of State of Canada, David Kilgore. They put it on, and he said, "Yeah, a lot of people have died. A, B, and C. These are findings. 5-minute skit. The next day, Fox News San Diego takes it down because China calls or something, right? Local station, but all around the country was like that, right? It wasn't just the left; it was the conservatives as well. So then I go to Fox News San Diego, as I did to every news outlet, in October. I have emails. The reporters wanted to run this in November and December too. Hey, the world's people are in danger. Let me explain. Yeah, we'll run it. But their owners didn't. I even showed up at their door, and they called security. Like I was wearing a suit, right? They're kind of looking at me, and because initially they said, "Sure, you can come and talk to us." The CEO of the air organization is here, and then they wouldn't want to talk to me because this was slanderous to big tech in China, right? So then I sue. Then I'm saying, look, virus, all these things are coming. Would you please run me? They wouldn't. Maria Bartiromo, she liked my book on Twitter. She liked it in September. She wanted me on her show, but her producer didn't let me on her show. Why? I says in there, China threatens all the world's citizens. All the world's people are in danger. So the left is ignoring and slandering me, and some of the good conservatives like Maria Bartiromo want me on her show, but then someone in the back end, which I know who it goes to, they prevented. They ran over there and did their own show because they don't understand what's coming. So that's the problem. I don't mean to single out Maria Bartiromo. She's actually a very nice lady, and she's very. It's Fox News for the most part is a good outlet. But what I'm saying, if even the good outlets are censoring the message and using their own people, they're not that smart. They have the same people come in the past 20 years talk about this. Then next year they become, oh yeah, it's Iraq. Now it's China. I've been saying this 20 years, right? That means if they never had the intelligence to call the stuff from before, you shouldn't have them on your show. And they deal with the institutes in D.C. A lot of people from that institute took my stuff, and now they're on the shows talking this and this. They didn't know anything, So if you don't have the expertise, don't have the media on your show. And this includes, CNN, which is a terrorist broadcasting network. They're promoting violence in the streets. CNN is a terrorist organization. That's what they are. It is a terrorist organization. They are promoting violence. They're promoting hatred against the American people and the world's people. They have caused division. That is what CNN has done. Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon. They're terrorists in suits. That's what they are. They have ruined the minds of the majority of the world's people by spreading propaganda and misinformation against President Trump, against the Constitution, and glorifying acts and promoting Antifa. And they're doing it now. They are terrorists. They are true terrorists.
Well said, sir. So here's my final question for you before we head off, because I know you're a busy man. Is in 5 years, what does this planet look like to you?
In 5 years, I can't say.
What does America look like to you?
It depends. So here's the thing. I had a vision, too. I said it in the show last night. I don't want to scare people, okay? But I saw President Trump's rise. I saw the riots. I saw what happens with Iran next, and then something else. And then at least, I'll say 6.2 billion people die in that vision. But it doesn't have to be, because there is the concept of destiny, right? But inside there's free will. It's the choice of the people. You have to choose to be good. You have to choose to be kind and compassionate. And if somebody listening and said I wasn't compassionate to CNN by calling them a terrorist, that is the most compassionate thing I could do, is calling them a terrorist. That's the most compassionate thing I could do. They are a terrorist. They're ruining the lives of the people and the people behind them. They are a terrorist organization. CNN, terrorists. FBI, CIA, Justice Department, arrest them, charge them with crimes against humanity, because they're inciting violence against the Constitution, against it. They're treasonous. You have outlawed Antifa, and they're still doing that. Arrest them.
100% agreed. Mr. Parsa, where can people find you and learn more about you and listen to your genius information?
Okay. Well, you can follow me on Twitter, CYRUSA Parsa1. Instagram, same thing. I did file a huge lawsuit against a lot of big tech, and in the future, if they don't help in this situation, the world's people are going to file lawsuits against every single one and against all their assets. Millions of people would do that. So I want to tell you guys on the left, I've never been against you from day one. Okay, you're just wrong on this issue on China and the Trump thing. You are wrong because you don't understand the bigger picture of what's coming. Okay, so please make friends with the conservatives. Both of you conservatives, you got to stop being, I know I was a little bit maybe vicious towards CNN, but Seriously, you have to make them understand, okay? Because what the left doesn't understand is the conservatives sitting at their homes, they're not doing much. But when it gets to the gritty down of things, ooh, it's going to be like a civil war like you've never ever seen before. It's not like the riots you've seen. It's going to be bloody. So you guys need to stop censoring them, because if you keep on censoring them, taking away their accounts on these, they're just going to have that pent up anger. And there aren't that many FBI officials or CIA officials or military that can control the world's people. And then it's going to alter even the military people's perceptions, right? It's going to be chaos worldwide. And then China can just take out with a nuke. That's what they want to do. The Chinese government is sinister. I implore the big tech companies and the CEOs, please put your pride down. Put your pride down. I also implore people on the conservative, put down your pride. Make friends for the sake of the human race. Make friends. Please make friends. Follow me on Twitter, and we need donations. Please go to PayPal, donate to the AI organization. We need that. I need it for my Chinese groups that I have working against China. We need donations. Please donate. Go to theaiorganization.com. Download this book. Please read that. Watch the videos. I'm not against the left. I only filed this lawsuit because I saw the world's people were in danger. That's the only reason I did. That's the only reason I came out to the public, because I had to do my diligence of telling my fellow human being, look, all your lives are in danger. Interconnect things. You need to understand this.
Mr. Cyrus A. Parsa, I thank you very much for being on the show today and bringing a lot of, honestly, just really good knowledge and information to everybody. Everyone loves you. This will go out to everybody, but thank you very much for being a patriot to this country and for being a light to the world with your knowledge. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, we're signing off. Cyrus, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Take care.